he's going to do. Doesn't want to take too much fall damage. He's going to push in the zone. He's in the bottom fighting now. Tfue gets another one. That's 5 elims. Makes it to top 3. 2 left.
All the loot's falling to Tfue. He's trying to drop on down. Can he drop his opponent in time? Tfue spraying out the build. Here he goes.
Are you kidding me?
Tfue with the win and the pop-off celebration.
This is the first zone move. Tyler's actually has 7 eliminations.
Doesn't even care.
Zone to Storm 5 left.
Oh my goodness. Is this the 10th limb? Can he match Hannibal? Yes, he does.
Face shoulder.
Keeps building more layers. His opponent can't catch him. I think it's time. It's time to place him down. 1, 2,
He's sitting right. There
and
you
look
go.
at this. He's going to heal on up. Tyler's, for the first time this week, the 6-point game. There it is.
The layers there.
Here it is from Gyre. Oh my gosh. And look, another Rift to go was just used. Faze Tsm eliminates one. He's got to watch this trap on the other side of the wall. Drops on down. The quick tag. Shotgun in the head.
Him around the corner.
J-Amok with the victory.
It's been incredibly exciting. We've had some really solid shots. And we're not even done yet, Courage. We have 6 games left, and I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's nice and early here in Seattle, but this crowd is already electric. The day is here. The grand finals of the SummerSkirmish. $1.5 million on the line today. And I couldn't have a better co-caster for it. Dr. Lupo joining me up here.
I'm sweats. The lobby.
Okay.
The SummerSkirmish culminated. This is week 8. $8 million over the course of the entire event. This weekend, $1.5 million. And first place takes $225,000 home.
We've had a week of action, too. We've had a week of action up to this point. So many legendary moments. We'll have to quickly take a look back on exactly the format of how we got here to keep you all up to speed. Because I know a lot of people will be tuning in today who really, Dr. Lupo, might not have ever watched competitive Fortnite before.
Now, the previous 3 days, the qualifier days, start off with 3 heats each morning, each heat being 2 matches apiece. And then in the evening, if you watch the streams, if you were here in person, the qualifiers, 4 matches. And the top 33 from each of those qualifiers made it into today, Courage, the grand finals, which is 6 matches. Now, how are they going to win? It's based on eliminations and placement. 3 to 4 elims is 1 point, 5 to 6 elims is 2 points, and if you get 7 there's some spice on top of that we'll get to here in a second.
There is some spice. Now, as you guys know, there's the $1.5 million. First place, $225,000 US. Everybody who's made it to this point today, everyone participating already won themselves $5 grand. But you mentioned something a little spicy. Well, I'm happy to announce Each victory royale today will net the player $25,000. So those 1v1s at the end of the game, when it's down to the wire, the storm is closing, everyone's kind of just trying to get by with their HP. Those will be $25,000 1v1s, and then obviously
it could be
for
worth
the points.
It could be worth points too. The value of a single 1v1 today. Even imagine the last match comes down to literally two players that have performed like crazy the prior 5 matches. That last fight could be worth literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, Courage.
Oh, yeah. No, it's crazy to think about how much is on the line today. And remember, this isn't just only a big day for prize money. This is arguably one of the biggest days in Fortnite competitive history, if not the biggest. This is the most stacked lobby we have ever seen. We will get into everyone that's participating, but yesterday there was a superstar, Tyler's, who had some interesting interview moments. We caught up with him once again leading into the final day.
I would be very scared. I would get nervous. I wouldn't want to fight them. I would avoid it at all costs. But today I went in there. I said I'm just going to give it my best, and whatever happens is what happens. This is my first LAN tournament for any game ever. The environment is amazing. Epic Games does an amazing job with everything from the viewing area outside to down here. I never had a problem with any of my setup or anything. Like it was amazing. Like I was genuinely and happily surprised. I did not think that I would be standing here, to be honest. My expectation was to place today. I gave that my expectation was to get into the nightly qualifiers and to do my best. Whatever happens from there, I gave it my all. The weak spots that players are having right now is that they are playing much too passive. If you watch even Ghost Aiden yesterday, he was rushing everybody. He didn't care. People, when they see that you're confident, they get less confident. That's like the main thing that I exploited today, and I plan on doing tomorrow.
Confidence is key. The big takeaway there that I learned from Tyler's, he had it yesterday. It's a big reason why he finished in that top spot.
He even mentioned doing something that a lot of these competitive players have taken very much to heart, and that's analyzing the gameplay of their opponents. He mentioned that Aiden, another player that we saw go absolutely crazy a number of games, he was just playing more aggressive, and Tyler's has analyzed that. He's seen it and kind of adapted it into his own play style. You could tell just from his own gameplay, it's paid off exponentially.
Absolutely, yeah, and it shows right there. We've talked so much about how aggression pays off. He mentioned Aiden too. Different play styles because of the rule set we have this weekend. Playing passively and going for victories, victory royales can be your key to success. Playing high energy, going for those early limbs could be the key to victory. But either way, we have a ridiculous day ahead. It cannot be stressed enough. Get involved in the conversation on social media. Use the hashtag SummerSkirmish. Give us your predictions. We set it back on day 1. We're here on the final day. This is your last shot to show everybody that you called who was going to win today. And again, these events would not be possible without our incredible partners. We'd like to extend our thanks to Logitech, Astro Gaming, and Respawn Products for supplying the peripherals and gaming chairs here at PAX. Major thanks to you guys because, again, these events, so incredible. If you've been here to experience in person, you just see this is unmatched in esports right now. What a blast.
It's absolutely insane. And if you're here in Seattle, if you're at PAX West, do yourself a favor.
Yes.
Come down to Lot 73. That's where everything's happening. We got 6 games today to play out. The story today is going to be incredible. And I thought, honestly, Courage, after day 1, it was so exciting. I thought to myself, there's no way that can get better than this. And then day 2 happened, and we had even crazier plays. And then day 3 happened. We saw Chap versus Tfue multiple times in a single game. We saw players come back from just barely missing out on points in a previous match to absolutely annihilating the follow-up. And people improving their gameplay even on the spot. I'd like to point out players like Tempo, Hysteria, they played in previous days, heats and qualifiers, and we've watched them kind of even evolve as players within just this weekend, realizing the mistakes that they're making. Those are signs of extremely competitive players, but it's not just the competitive side that's represented here. There are one-offs. There are people that we haven't seen on the SummerSkirmish side or competitive plays, scrims maybe you've watched online. There are people that are showing up out of the woodwork, and those stories are ones that are incredibly important as well. I could not be happier if someone that was not tied to any team, anything like that, no disrespect intended to anybody, but imagine one of those guys came away with $100,000+ at the end of the day.
It would be quite the life-changing experience. Either way, there's been so many announcements, so many things going on this weekend. If you've been watching, you know, each day we've been teasing a little bit of the upcoming high-stakes limited time mode, and obviously the getaway and everything coming along with that. Today we have more to show you guys as well. Again, Fortnite presents high stakes. Yesterday we took a first look at the getaway limited time mode and the new item, the grappler. Today, we've got the free high-stakes challenges and rewards you can unlock for completing them. High stakes launches this week at Fortnite. See you there. And again, here's a look at them. Deal 500 damage to jewel-carrying opponents. Again, something completely unique. That's the spray you earn, and then pick up a jewel in 5 different matches of the getaway to earn the contrail. A look at it there. We saw it in the gameplay yesterday. That looked fire. You complete all the challenges. The brand new pickaxe. The crowbar right there. I'm doing that right away. When that goes live, I'm doing that right away.
So you have to don't forget to start the stream, Courage. I know you're excited. The LTM will be there. Okay, you just got to wait the 2 minutes. Get ready. You know, get it into your
do my little dance
game. Exactly.
No, we'll definitely be live for that. Don't worry, guys. Without further ado, I'd like to begin to get ready for our first game with our look at our finalists. 99 of the best Fortnite players in the world competing here today. What are some big names on this first page, Luke?
I don't even know where to begin with the list of players that are playing today. You have names like Nate Hill and the rest of the Faze clan. In fact, 5 out of 5 players from Faze qualified for these grand finals. 72 hours from Liquid, who we saw put on a show. You don't need materials. You don't even need HP. All you need is a drum gun and a dream, and you can push around outside and rotate on your opponent. The thought processes that go through these players' minds is incredible. You got C9, Alliance, World's Best Gaming, Trouble Boys, and teams, countless teams. Yes. Envy. It's incredible.
And then on page 2 here, you see Sentinel's Animal. He was one of the 2 players who have had 10+ elim games. Ghost Aiden was right there with him as well. Saf, who's done well in the summer skirmishes prior to this, continuing to put his name up there. Ghost Bizzle, a big name with that Ghost Gaming organization who've seen so much success this weekend. Heading out of the other side of the list, number 59 spot, Liquid Poach. Arguably a competitive fan favorite to potentially win the event this weekend. We'll see how he performs today. And then this was from last night, and I'm just going to quickly run through. Faze Tsm, Tfue, Hysteria, Chat, Geomach. You look, C9 Blind is on this list. Flower from Rogue. It does not. And what a stacked lineup we have heading into today, competing for the 1.5 million.
On top of that, you have players that are playing on a controller. You have players that are playing on keyboard and mouse. Yes. Nick Merckx is going to put on a show in Tilted Towers. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And the best part is he's not alone. Aiden was consistently dropping Tilted in his games, which means these two might end up having a little face-off at the beginning of almost every single game if they both trend to where they're used to, where they're comfortable going.
And I know a lot of people were talking to Nick about Aiden, being like, hey, look, fellow controller player, showing up big time, putting up some big numbers. Nick was hearing it, and he wants to go ahead and provide his own stuff. Speaking with Nick actually last night, he mentioned we didn't kind of see the one game he had 6 elims. He was trailing someone in the storm. Hits him 3 times to drop him to 1 HP, and the storm eliminated them for his 7th elim. So that's how he missed out on that free final 3rd point. Either way, Nick did well yesterday. So much competition. Let us know who you think's going to take it home. I got to ask you, now that we know our 99 players, who's the favorite?
I mean, I'm part of Rogue. I got to pull for Double Flower, but at the same time, I mean, you have the list of players is incredible.
Who's about to actually fight, and you'd hear everyone here begin to cheer like, oh my gosh, here we go. 2 Titans in competitive Fortnite about to go at it. Again, if you have never watched Fortnite in this style gameplay before, it is very different from your normal, let's play some solos or duos at home. These lobbies will be stacked with players from top to bottom who are at the top 1% in skill, and it changes how it's played
not the most common way to play these. People play safe, especially because top 10 gets you a single point, and 1 and 2 eliminations, while those help with tiebreakers, which don't get me wrong, those are incredibly important, the points matter.
Oh, yeah.
Points matter big time.
And the crazy thing, too, is a lot of these guys have experience playing against each other in some of these solo scrim lobbies. They know Liquid Chap likes to land whaling. Tfue likes to land down in the desert area in kind of the outskirts of Paradise. They're going to keep that in mind when they're going for their drops. You saw Tempo the whole day yesterday was going Snobby Shores. Hysteria loves to go Greasy. Nick Merckx loves to go Tilted. You can kind of see how the minds of these players are going to be running with, okay, we know, well, this guy's here, this guy's here. I've got to be a little bit careful on exactly where I drop.
As a competitive player, do you think that they're going to make choices and decide to go to those locations thinking, you know what, I think I can beat Chap or Nick Merckx or whoever trends, like you said, Hysteria goes to Greasy quite a bit. Do you think players are going to choose to go to those locations specifically to try and get an engagement against somebody that they may think they have an upper hand on?
Maybe early on. We'll have to see. There's Saint, who had a pop-off celebration the other day. Everyone's in the lobby. They're getting ready. A look at the beautiful stations they have there. Folks, the battle bus is launching. It is time. In the next 6 games, we will find out, well, who is a hell of a lot richer. Let's get into it. Game number 1. Who will come out on top? Remember, Victory Royale. You win this game, you automatically win $25,000. But let's be honest, everyone here is already a winner this week.
And you see in the bottom right, we're going to rotate through a number of top performers from the previous qualifiers just to take a look at where everybody's dropping. The map already getting a pretty solid spread. You got a lot of players. I mean, this is a bus straight across the middle, basically, which means everywhere is eligible. Snobby Shores, you see players dropping outside over the coast again to try and get as low as possible.
Ooh, Tilted. Tilted's actually very light landing, only 4 players. 4.
One is rotating in from Shifty, actually completely unoccupied. I would almost, you see one is cutting back over the river, potentially seeing nobody else is going there, saying, okay, I'll gladly take all the loot. Let's go get as many as we can.
There's Tempo and Snobby. No surprise there. Morgoss had some crazy scenarios in his day of playing. If you remember, so low HP, was able to get some limbs when you thought it wasn't possible. 99 players in this lobby. And no surprise here, Aiden is in Tilted. The man who surprised so many people, said the other day was arguably the best day of his life. And look at Nick Merckx, already tagged up and weak and Tilted. We'll keep an eye on him later on, but this is in Viking Village. Saf going up against Cryo. Cryo, if you remember last night, won a coin flip to make it on in today.
A lot to see here up against Ghost. Saf is an excellent player, very, very good at quick reactions and quick edits, and Cryo hopefully can take advantage of his coin flip. Does not make it out the first game here. Viking Village pretty ruthless when it comes to loot at times. The building's there's a lot of tight quarters. They're playing out in the open though, and the exposure costs Cryo.
And this is Jack from United going up against Bartonologist. You see using that ramp edit to get a clear view. Tries to farm some extra materials, doesn't quite get a chance yet.
See the feed Poach picking up an elimination.
On the Povsey, as Jack clears out that sight line. Still just watching his back for a second. I don't think, does he know Bartonologist is
he might not
right on the other side of this wall? Yeah, Bartonologist is just looking for the drop here. He's just waiting. It looks like there's an engagement about to go down. Bartonologist peek in the corner. Hasn't jumped out yet.
Well, he's got it.
That blue submachine gun, though, can absolutely shred this early on. He does have a health disadvantage at the moment. Trying to break on in. Maybe get a sight line of his opponent down low. Is he hiding into the pyramid? He is. He uses that time to pop under the shield, it appears. As now you've got to think Jack has a ton of health advantage and gets the hip-fired spread. Beautifully done from him. Yeah, he popped a big shield to go to 200 HP. And that's when it's kind of out of reach for Bartonologist.
It looked like it took just a couple crits there with the AR midair on his opponent, Bartonologist. Now this is the fight. I saw the elimination of the feed, but here's Povsey going down to Liquid Poach up here. Ooh, a quick midair burst. The only weapon Poach was sitting on, a gray burst, and that was enough.
Now, just north of Flush Factory, you see Takada looking for where exactly Snood could be. Very low on materials. At least he's quite healthy at 175 HP. Snood at a major disadvantage there. Looks like he'll go ahead and just kind of leave this build for now. Maybe try to farm up some trees, get himself some wood here, loop out a build.
Didn't want to get caught in a 1v1 in a tight quarter situation, get snood. Not enough materials early game to engage inside a building. Players typically use like a wall or a ramp mid-fight to stop even just a single shotgun blast if the timing is perfect. You saw there quickly the circle courage almost perfectly centered, maybe a little south side, which means pretty much everybody, unless you're maybe in Junction or the very top right, the northeast corner is going to have to, they have plenty of time to farm up materials, which means I would expect late game fights to be very competitive. Typically, if the circle is shifted hard to one side or the other, you know, top, bottom, east, west, wherever and it's go, if it's very far away from players, those players are almost easy pickings just because they don't have the materials. And in competitive games, courage materials, you almost choose over anything else.
Turkey Lips, who led day one with eliminations in the qualifiers, looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Catches trouble was X's off guard there through the doorway. Looks like Jay Cuddy's trying to bait with the trap here. Somebody must be in the area. World's Best Gaming's Unicorn rotating around the outside. I think I saw him yesterday wearing actually like a rainbow sweatshirt. It's pretty cool.
Nobody with 2 elims yet. And again, to set the tone for just how crazy these games are, how different they are from what you're used to playing at home. There is still 78 players left in the lobby, and the first zone is about to begin to push. That was Punisher cutting down his opponent there. But yeah, look at that, Lupo. I mean, at home, right? You probably have, what, 35 players left at this point? Maybe 30?
78.
I think players are taking the passive route for this start to today.
Now, there's a high number of players that have 1 elimination. Nobody right now has 2 currently. Horrify goes down to Mac from Soar. The accuracy on the shotgun shots from a lot of these players today looks fantastic, which means it's gonna come down to who makes a mistake first.
Goodness. Crunch. Look at the ramp block from Aiden onto Crunch. He blocks the rocket, it damages Crunch, and then he follows up with the elim there. Aiden still in a good spot. Nick Merckx still alive. These two, the 2 kings of Tilted that we've seen so far this week.
It does make me wonder. We've seen players analyze each other's gameplay. Aiden most likely very aware that Nick Merckx goes to, I'm going to be honest, the same building almost every single time. Do you think he's purposely?
4 games. Faze won 3 of them. This was actually Tyler's in an engagement with Painful PvP, and right now Painful looks like he had all the advantage, and yeah, he did. Tyler's down early. Our kind of outspoken player from yesterday. Unfortunately drops here early in game 1.
Now, there's still 5 games left for these players, even after this one has been completed. So, a bad game or 2, it doesn't spell the end.
Is this Nick versus Aiden? Is this Nick versus Aiden?
Shot to Nick Merckx goes down. Aiden says, "Welcome to Tilted."
And there, oh! Aiden letting him know.
I gotta say it, hi Twitter. I gotta say it, hi Twitter.
That honestly. Right there, folks, is what it's all about. Aiden knowing the and well, I feel like that's a battle we're gonna see a lot today, Lupo.
Psalm building up against, I believe it is it Levake here up in the sky. A lot of layers here, and there's a kind of a third player potentially entering, maybe 3 or 4. They're very exposed right here. I'm surprised. I'm surprised no one has begun shooting down the structure here. It looked like it was built extremely vertically. They're kind of exposed.
Yep.
Psalm's got to be very careful that it doesn't look like he has a bounce pad. I would expect him to kind of have it out. Aiden has just claimed Tilted Towers as his own. Takes out.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are about 15 players at least who have 1 elim in this game. Aiden, the only one at 3, has earned our first point today. Aiden continues his tear as he has claimed Tilted Towers. We said 4 people landed there at the start of this game. Everyone was eliminated by Aiden as he's now at 3.
The zone is starting to, it's going to have to start pushing players in. You're going to see people that are, this is kind of the beginning of the mix-up. You know, chaos typically happens. The storm closing. Now we're going to see where the next circle is. It's centered over Tilted Towers, which means Aiden doesn't even have to move.
He's big chilling right now. There's a drop coming on in as well. Aiden's thought process, it looked like he basically said, you know what? I know Nick Merckx is going to go big gray. I'm going to land at double L's, loot big red, loot the new building, and then once I have everything I could ever want, then I'll challenge Nick at big gray. And it worked out perfectly for him there. He's still maxed on HP. Here's Boyer, who we just saw pop a medkit to get to full health. Over to Mercedes now. on the edge of the football or soccer stadium. So he's trying to spot this player. You hear listening for those audio cues. It's actually WBG Punisher who took down Tfue earlier on.
In the feed, Tfue takes an elimination there on Powder from Alliance. That is his first elim. Poach still has one. The list of players that are sitting on one elimination now is monstrous. Jay Cuddy actually has two, but still Aiden, the only one, you see the board there, only one with three. The only player with a single. Aiden actually just picked up his fourth elimination, which puts him one away from a second point.
I mean, can this man be stopped?
Engagement down here, though. He's trying to drop the structure down. Looking, you could even hear the fall damage right there. That should be a cue.
He caught onto one layer of a ramp, though, which kept the high ground for his opponent. And now Marcides knows just how tough of a situation he's in. Trying to get the quick edit to peek on out. Can't get the structure shut down in time. He's wearing a great shirt, though, so I'll give him that either way. Punisher with the elim.
Style matters, but the points are everything, Courage. Unicorn, Sakairos, very small. They're 2 floors away from each other. This is Aiden's fourth elimination earlier. A rotation in and lasers. Absolutely lasers. That gold AR is incredibly powerful. A Chap building up here. It did look like Aiden picked up a Chug Jug right as he cut away, which means he's full health, full shield, ready for the next engagement. He's still safe inside the zone, but Chap here just on the west side of Dusty Divot, stuck in 1v1, but we've seen Chap build. We've seen Chap take advantage of height and all of the structure here that he has ownership of, and we're going to watch players still continue to do that. They're going to break out anything they can, take ownership of it. He puts the pyramid up to block any push. The player underneath, just trying to keep Chap away. And I'm going to be honest with you, Courage, a player like Chap, I don't think that's necessarily going to work.
No.
Chap is going to look for an angle, the weak spot in his players, the way that they're developing this strategy against him. He's going to take advantage of it. I almost expect at this point maybe a drop down, a knockout, and Chap to go just for a shotty shot in midair. He's got dualies as well.
Quickly to mention, E-United's Jack just knocked out Liquid Poach from this first game. So Poach eliminated with about 61 players left. This is by far the slowest game we've had to this point this week with how many people are still in play. Here goes the battle. Chap versus this enemy inside Dusty Divot. Both players getting hit heavy, and Kayun. Well, Chap falls right on into the window, and Kayun's shotgun wins that engagement there. Both players, it looked like we're going for the floor replacement. Kayun got it and dropped Chap in. Now the rift to go. Typically not necessarily taken by your opponent, but Dremon says, you can't get away from me. He's going to drop down. He also had the zone pushing.
Fly in. Yeah.
He had the zone there as well. Might as well just go ahead and skirt on out of there. Tilted Towers looks like it will soon be the only thing in play. And folks, Aiden has 10 minis and a Chug Jug. Could not ask for more shield healing. He's near max on each type of material. Gold heavy shotgun, gold legendary assault rifle, sorry. I mean, this man is set up for success here.
Lavic rotating around the outside, drops on the outside. Looks like Sakairos didn't see him drop on the outside, place a platform, and the shotgun shot there secures an elimination just outside the zone, too. Ilchase taking shots, trying to drop the structure of his opponent before they rotate in. He's just hanging out outside the storm, but it's only ticking for one, so it's not enough damage to worry about, but he has to build himself in. His opponent got a top down on him, got the height advantage, but he has an ability to edit out. Going to take ownership of that ramp in the middle, or at least just get it out of the way so his opponent doesn't have it. Building these little catacombs, it's a way to have your opponent lose track of your location. The replays from Faze, he's still on top of him. Still watching, trying to grab. These players are fighting back and forth constantly for who owns what surface. The shots coming in through the angle to edit there, and Replays gets quite a bit of damage, maybe enough to push in, and he does. The shotgun and a fight inside the box and takes Ilchase out. 2 eliminations for Replays now.
Beautifully done by Replays. He'll be rewarded with a med kit to get the full HP. While this was going on, 0 players have yet to hit 3 elims outside of Aiden. And while that fight was going on, Aiden actually moved up to 5 eliminations now at 2 points earned this game. Jay Cuddy just earned his 3rd elim to put him at 1 point as well. Apparently, Aiden's 5th elim was actually a trap that he left behind in a building in Tilted, and someone ran right through it.
That's not the first time he's done that either. During his qualifiers, that his 8th elimination in the second game came from a trap as he was rotating to the west.
Remember, that is incredible.
I love those.
8 elimination, second game, heading west.
I specifically remember where it
building.
happened, too.
Okay. Looper, jeez. It's that dad brain right there. You're showing it off. I love it. As Aiden, he's got another player close. He's got a launch pad at his inventory as well. Tilted will be out of play soon. You see, as he enters each room, he checks the roof for any traps. Make sure he can't sprint on in.
In the feed down there, replays from Faze going down to Kayun, who just took out, I believe, Liquid Chat before that. That is a stack of eliminations to be proud of right there. Jack from EU with 3 elims, Jay Kitty still 3 elims, and Aiden with 5. That's 3 players currently with points. Aiden having 2, the others 1 apiece. Looks like Aiden has a player on the inside, and you're trying to take ownership of the wall so he can get the edit off. They're just holding on tight. He's going to have to rotate around, potentially on top, or push up the stairs. Change the angle of engagement. Pro players are typically very aware, these highly competitive players, very aware of appropriate times to disengage and get it up another angle. But Aiden gets dropped out from underneath his opponent, just lasering down any structure he's got. The AR shots, it's not as fast as an SMG, but it's enough to take structure out. Aiden's only building 1 layer at a time. The third party from behind, maybe tunnel visioning on the opponent that was in front of him, just pushing, losing track of the fact that somebody else was watching. There are other players there. You got to start looking for those little towers.
He's playing for having as much health as possible for the next fight. Gonna